everyone. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to explain the drug cards for you. I know that we discussed them briefly in class, but I thought that having a recording to go over them with you would also be beneficial as you work to try to complete the drug cards. As you know, you have 10 drug cards that you need to complete before week 10. I don't require a certain amount to be due each week. You just need to get 10 of them into me prior to week 10. There is an example and the rubrics available on Blackboard. I also passed out packets in your math class that have copies of the drug cards. For the Tuesday math class, sorry, that was my phone. For the Tuesday math class, you can pick up physical copies of the drug cards next time we meet next Tuesday if you like, or you can print them from Blackboard if you wanted to start working on them now. So what the drug cards are is these are an introduction to medications, and the reason we're doing them in your math class is because you need to become familiar with the process, because when you go into administration of medications, you will have to do 50 drug cards on the top 50 prescribed medications. So at the end of the quarter, I will be giving you a list of drugs and some copies of the drug cards so you can work on them over the summer if you choose to. You are not required to work on them over the summer, but I do strongly recommend that you do so because it will take away from other work that you could be doing in the fall quarter. So I really do suggest that if you are able to, try to get as many of these types of assignments done as you can. So for math, you are only required to do 10, and I'm not going to give you the names of drugs that I want you to do. You can do 10, any drug of your choice. So they can be medications that are in your medicine cabinet, medications your parents take, medications you take. You could do over-the-counter medications. You could do anything like that. You could go to CVS and look at the over-the-counter medications up and down the aisles if you like, just to get some ideas of what kind of medications are out there. So what you'll be doing in particular, and I've given you an example, is you'll be writing the information about the drug cards. So you'll be setting the classification. This would be like, what type of drug is it? For example, Lasix is a diuretic. Zocor is for cholesterol. Tylenol is an analgesic for a pain medication. So if you can find the classification, you'll need to put that down in there to tell you what kind of medication it is. Next, you'll need the generic name, and please refer to the chapter that we discussed in the last video lecture regarding generic names and trade names. Remember, generic name is the drug that is the official name. It is written in small letters, so there's no capitalization because there is no ownership. So every single drug card is going to have a generic name. Now, some drugs have a trade name. These are the ones that are given by the manufacturer. They're written in capital letters. So for example, if you use Tylenol, you're going to use generic name is acetaminophen, and the trade name, which indicates ownership, will be Tylenol. If you look at just the generic Tylenol that's over the counter, then you could write acetaminophen and not put a trade name. So not every one of them is going to have a trade name depending on what you're looking at, but every single one will have a generic name. Your schedule number, you don't need to worry about these unless it's a narcotic medication. So please don't make yourself nuts. Look, I even said it down here, looking for schedules, because not all drugs are categorized that way. The schedule is a series of classifications based on the ability to abuse and the potential for abuse. So those are only allocated to narcotic medications. Then you're going to put your actions. Describe the cellular changes that occur with the drug. So an action is, what does the medication do? For example, Tylenol might be reduces pain and fever. Keep it simple, keep it brief, so that you have a basic idea of what the medication does. Then you're going to be doing indications. This is a reason for why you would take a medication. For example, Zocor would be indicated for patients with elevated cholesterol levels. Next, you're going to be doing contraindications, and these are conditions for which the drug should not be given. For example, if a patient has liver disease, they should not take Zocor because Zocor is metabolized in the liver. So that would be a contraindication for that medication. Pregnancy is often a contraindication for many medications. Sometimes it's taking two medications together is contraindicated. So these are reasons why we should avoid giving a particular medication. Then you should list a few of the common side effects. Some medications that you look up are going to have 750 side effects. Do not write all of those side effects out. You only need to stick with the top few side effects. These are things that we can expect to happen, possibly if the patient takes the medication. They're unpleasant, harmful, or dangerous secondary effects of the drugs. Patient education. These are things that patients should know to safely and effectively take the drug. For example, do not take this medication and have sun exposure. Do not operate heavy machinery. It may cause drowsiness. Those sorts of things. And any special instructions that you can find. If you stick with these categories, you'll be fine with your drug cards. There also, if you need further clarification over things like what's an indication and what are contraindications, refer to the index in the back of your book to look that information up, and they are described in your math book as well. So moving forward down here, these are the blank copies of the drug cards, and we've put 2 on each page. You do not need to cut the pages in half. I repeat, you do not need to cut the pages in half, because then we're only going to be dealing with half pages, and they're really crazy to deal with. So you could turn in your full pages. There's 2 on each one, and that's pretty much the drug cards in a nutshell. If you choose to, some of you might like to do this, you can type right into the template that I've put on Blackboard for you, and then you can print them when you're finished. So however you want to deliver them, that's fine. You need to do 10 of them before week 10, and then when you go home for the summer, I'm going to give you a list of 50 drugs that you need to do the specific drugs for. Please let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy your weekend.